Hello, this is Jeff Hamrick at the Financial Analysis program at the University of San Francisco. This tutorial is for the Econometrics class, MSFA 736. I want to take a couple of minutes to show you how to use Stata to generate a new variable as a function of an old variable, and in particular how to use this technique to generate a return series when you're only given a price series. So what I want to do is exactly what we did in class the other day. I would like to import into Stata the hedging data set that we use that is part of the Brooks textbook. This hedging data set related to S&P 500 futures. So when I import this data set into Stata, you'll recall with me that it has dates, spot prices, and futures prices. And what I might want to do is to create either the discrete returns or the continuously compounded returns. So let me do that in a couple of different ways. You'll remember that the first step we take is to create a time variable to do indexing by. So gen is the shortcut name for the command in Stata that generates new variables in terms of old variables. And so I'm going to generate a variable called time, and it's going to be equal to underscore n, and the underscore n is not dispensable. We need the underscore with it. If you browse that time variable now, you'll see that it's simply a time index that labels each member of the data set as the case number or row number that it occupies. So the next step, if we're willing to shortcut a little bit, is to go on ahead and create a new variable that computes the returns that we'd like to see. So let me do that first for the spot prices and then for the futures prices. So if I create a new variable, let me call this log or spot log returns. The way we're going to compute this is I'm going to take the logarithm of the nth spot price, and you need this syntax right here. You need underscore n, and you need the square brackets rather than the parentheses. The parentheses go with the logarithm because that's an arithmetic operation and or the application of an elementary function, like a trig function, like a power function, or like the logarithm. And I'm going to take from this and I'm going to subtract the logarithm of spot underscore n minus 1, and I'll close out that parentheses. And I'm going to do one more thing so that this is an apples to apples comparison with the usual 3.0 representing a 3% return or a minus 4 representing a minus 4% return. I'm going to put a 100 times in front of this whole operation so that it will compare in an apples to apples way with the discretely compounded returns that we're going to create in just 1 second. So I press OK. Notice that Stata warns us right here that it's created a missing value. That's because the first row, there's no yesterday to speak of, there's no prior month to speak of to create a return for that particular period. And when we browse the variable we've created called spot log returns, we can see that we indeed have quantities that we might consider to be returns, 3.6 minus 6.33. If those seem a little bit extreme to you, please remember that these are monthly returns, not daily returns. So I'm going to close that out and then quickly define in exactly the same way a new variable for the futures log returns. It's going to be defined in exactly an analogous way, so I'm going to move through that pretty quickly. Futures underscore n minus logarithm futures underscore n minus 1. Close out my final parentheses, press OK. Oh, I've made a mistake here. I've too many parentheses. Let me copy this and fix this problem. There we go. Oh, I've screwed it up again. There's one here. There we go. You can see all my mistakes when you watch these videos. So then you've got that, and then that, and I think we're okay now. There we go. And there's our new variable, and if you want to browse it really quickly, you can check it out. Okay, So what if we wanted to do this exact same sequence of steps for discretely compounded returns? It's simple. So I'm going to do gen, and I'm going to call this spot returns. I won't put the log in there since these are not logarithmic returns. You do it in exactly the way you might expect. I'm going to do spot. I'll take the nth price and I'll subtract the n minus 1th price, today minus yesterday, divided by yesterday. And I'm going to take the whole thing and wrap one more set of parentheses around it. And then I'm going to put a 100 times in front of this. And so now I've got discretely defined returns for these spot prices. And I can be lazy here and just copy this and paste it and replace spot by futures. And what do we have? I think we have exactly what we'll need to be done with this task. There we go. And if you want to browse really quickly the spot returns, you'll see that they're quite comparable to the logarithmically defined returns because there's not actually all that much difference between discrete compounded returns and continuously compounded returns. So this, guys, is how you use Stata to create a new variable in terms of an old variable, and how you can create functions that act on an index that represents the case number, which sometimes will be time, for your variables. Thanks very much. See you guys in class soon.